GSL.
Don't get in my way now.
Welcome back to the GSTL. It is time for, let's just say it. It's going to be two Titans battling it out. Two players who lost in the round of 8 this very season, playing against each other in the Team League. High stakes. If Marine King wins, it's over.
Exactly. Symbol is the last Zerg standing. He's the last player for his team. If Marine King takes him out after he just defeated Paul, then we will have a 5-3 score in favor of the Prime team. And that game is going to be awesome. Cloud Kingdom.
Awesome.
I can't
Kingdom
wait.
Is I think a lot of people have problems with this map in PvT. A lot of Terrans don't like this map, but otherwise I think it's pretty balanced. What are your thoughts on the balance of this map?
I love Cloud Kingdom. I really love it. From all the maps that were added to the map pool in the last... When was it added? 6 months?
Yeah, it's actually starting to be a while since this map was added. It still feels kind of fresh, but...
Yeah, I love it. Cloud Kingdom is great. A lot of the newer maps that we've seen are, I want to say, a little bit awkward. They are not necessarily bad. Some of them are, in my opinion, just not balanced. As for example, the Bristol City Protoss players have such a hard time on this map. But if you just talk about the newer maps, they always seem to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, exactly. We talk about this a lot. I feel like the direction that map makers are going in right now is they're thinking too big. I mean, no pun intended. They're
I think one of the problems was just that we saw so many rushes, so many just cheeses on the small maps, and that at some point map makers try to create maps where we have more macro games. But now it feels like it takes sometimes a few options away.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to make a balanced map though, so I really feel with those guys. And Cloud Kingdom, in my opinion, is just awesome.
I would actually like to see another map, and people are going to send me a bunch of angry tweets after I say this, but I'd like to see a map about the size of Delta Quadrant again. Not the same style. That map, the way it was made was bad, but I would like to see a map like that introduced again to see what would happen nowadays. I think it would be exciting to see because that type of map doesn't exist anymore. It's always interesting to have a map like that in the pool with map veto systems and things like this. So you don't want to play on a map like that. You don't necessarily have to. But have that in the pool, I think, makes for exciting games. Not Delta Quadrant specifically, but a map of that size, and not with a backdoor warp endpoint and all this other stuff that in a backdoor expansion. None of that stuff.
I didn't like Delta Quadrant though.
No, Delta Quadrant itself, no. But a map like a 4-player map, just corner positions.
Let's get Crossfire back. I'm sorry.
I'm like, Caldor, man, you're pushing the limit. We don't say the C word at the GSL.
I had to do it. But well, guys, this time there's no Crossfire. There is actually Cloud Kingdom, so a much more balanced map. And Marine King and Symbol is, of course, exactly the game that I think everyone was hoping for when TSL and Prime started this team match today. And Symbol being the last player for his team, that's a role that he played in the past quite often against LGIM. This is one of the things that we mentioned earlier, but I think nobody who actually saw the match has forgotten it. And if you haven't seen the match, make sure that you check out the VODs of last season. It was TSL against LGIM. We're not going to say any more about it. Just watch them and your mind will be blown away. It's epic. If you haven't seen it live, watch it, check it out. The players are currently joining the lobby. And the question, of course, also remains, if Symbol is able to take down Marine King, who's going to be the last player for the Prime team? Probably the
Bjorn,
favorites are either Bjorn or Maru.
Yeah, Maru actually could make a peek in as well.
So at this point, we are going to start. Symbol is ready, so is Marine King. Zerg versus Terran. First one today.
Symbol with the warm-up exercises.
Look at this win ratio from Marine King.
That's nearly 100. The win ratio for Symbol is quite high as well at 66.7.
It's going to be a great match. I'm really so excited about this. There were a couple of games today already that I was really looking forward to. Hyun against Creator was a pretty straightforward game. I didn't actually expect it to end that way. But now we have a Zerg versus Terran. Marine King. He was able to defeat Cold, and it was just basically repeating the performances of the past. but he was just proving that his ratio against Holt in particular is great. Symbol, on the other hand, he's a very strong player against Terran, and we will find out if he can beat Marine King here and tie the score once again. This is the GSTL Prime against TSL Color Wolf. Starting to the top right is the last Zerg standing for TSL. He carries the hopes of his team on his shoulders. This is
TSL Symbol!
He prepared a lot against Terran. In the round of 8 in Codes, he faced MVP. He was not able to win, and now he's facing another Terran player. At the bottom left of the map starts the Prime player. After defeating Polt, he's now facing a Zerg.
Marine King Prime!
Marine King Prime indeed. And he also prepared specifically for this matchup, for his round of 8 match. He prepared against Live. Both of them lost in the round of 8. Will they be able? Oh, who's going to take this one?
No, we talked about the map a lot earlier. I want to mention that I heard that this map maker actually retired. So I should say thank you to Super Man. His name is actually hard to pronounce. It's like Super Man or Super Man. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, but thank you for making such sick maps. If you're listening, I just want to let you know I like Cloud Kingdom.
Cloud Kingdom is definitely awesome. One of the things that you should also do, guys, if you use Twitter, add these two players. We have TSL_symbol for the Zerg, and Marine King Prime, of course, is MKPS2. And also make sure that you add the two of us, at ProxyWolf and at Kaldor. While we have the openings in this game, we have the double barracks opening from Marine King, as you can see on the production tab, was also highlighted by Legend, whereas Symbol is of course going for the 15 hatch. And by now he spotted what's going on here, has his drone in position. And Marine King is not starting with the
this is not a 2-racks attack. Oh, nice halt there. That halt actually saved the SME's life. That was a very close call. This is a 2-racks expand. It's not a 2-racks pressure. You can pressure with this and expand, but the build that you do with this is like 12, 13, 14 depending on the distance, and then you make expands there. This is actually a really common build on smaller maps because it was so strong. You could use this build not only to pressure really well on small maps, but also get a super safe expansion at the same time.
And to give you a little bit of an idea how good Symbol actually is in this matchup, well, we now saw him scouting what's going on in Marine King, going for this opening. Just a few results. Of course, to MVP, there was the one game that he lost just in the recent past, but he took down Happy. He was able to win against Yoda twice. He took down Braddock at one of the online tournaments that he played. Supernova was not able to win against Symbol. Took down Clyde, he took down Björn earlier this year. A lot of games that he was able to win in this matchup. On the other hand, of course, we have Marine King with a very good win ratio against Zerg 2, even though he lost his last ZBT. But he was able to win against Curious, took down Jadon, for example. So a really high-level Terran versus Zerg that we are going to see here. Nice defense here. Nothing too spectacular by Symbol, but just showing that he is not taking any chances.
Yeah, and then this type of play from Marine King is very effective. This is what I was talking about earlier. You can pressure and expand. It's not a lot of pressure, but he basically faked it. He sent one SCV and a Marine. So many lings were made. 8 lings made. Plus, he made a spine crawler, and he had his drones flying around all over the place, not mining, and didn't even kill the first Marine that was out there. I mean, this could not have done more damage.
We have, by the way, another command center for Marine King right now, so he's playing this quite greedy, doesn't get any gas at all, and blocks at the front with 2 additional barracks. He actually has 4 right now. He's hiding 1 in the main base.
Yeah, that's smart, and also later on, he can use this one to make stem, because in this position, his Tekla would be exposed otherwise, when he wants to do that later on. But he's not going to be getting stem anytime soon, as he hasn't even taken his gases, but later on that will become important.
He shows to his opponent how many barracks he has right now. If he would have used his barracks on the high ground in order to replace one of the 2 that he's building at the wall now, then Symbol might have just assumed that there are 3 barracks in total, that there's only 1 being built, but now Symbol knows, okay, there are 4 barracks, and he will most likely going to play a little bit more defensive because of it.
Using these extra links that he made as well now to kill the rocks, just trying to make sure that they have a use value, a TSL value, if you will.
Yeah. You're not going to see him today, though.
Nope. No chance of that.
Gas has been taken for both. Marine King in the main base has taken the double refinery and is now adding this tech lab on the high ground.
Yeah, it looks like that was the only reason he wanted to pull that barracks in the main, just to ensure that he has that safety net for his STEM research. This is actually the topic of much debate right now. People say that they think that Terran should be able to build their add-ons on either side. Some people say it's fine the way it is. I actually like it the way it is, personally. Roach Warren comes down for Symbol.
He could pressure with the Roach Warren, and if he knows, for example, that Marine King has a very late gas, and then also by the time he's here, then he can just push with the Roaches in there. The problem for Marine King is that he won't have siege tanks, but he's already building the first Marauder, so he knows about the risks that he's facing here, and with the additional bunker that he now places down behind those barracks, he will be fine. But the bigger story here is that, as you already pointed out, the barracks in the main base is also being used for the add-on. If he would have built the add-on on the low ground and the Roaches start to attack, they might not be able to crush through to get into the mineral line at the natural, but at least they can snipe the tech lab, and then suddenly every single upgrade, Stim and Combat Shield, will be so much delayed, so really well done by Marine King here. But he's actually facing a lot of Roaches, and he's going, wow, he's going for a strategy that we have not, I personally have missed a little bit in the recent past. He's going for Roach Baneling attack.
And you know, one thing to say about this too is, normally you don't execute an attack like this against someone who has such a tightly set up wall. I mean, this wall is going to be pretty tough to break. Obviously, there's a huge advantage to this as well. You know he's not going to have siege tanks. So if you can break through, if he doesn't have anything behind that wall, it is still a good strategy, but it takes a lot of Banelings.
Yeah, this strategy is not one that we have not seen at all in the recent past, but if you just think about how often it was used, let's say 2 months ago, then it just has fallen off the radar a tiny little bit. But this is going to be very strong. 14 Zerglings are being built. You can see that the Roaches are already on their way. And at this point in time, he doesn't even have to bust through.
Yeah. Marauders at the front to be ready for something like this. It looks like that's intentional, but he's going to make depot walls here. The reactors are so exposed, and they also cut down his production time so much.
He has no scouting information. He's trying to take his third right now, and here come the Zerglings, and of course the Roaches are on the move as well. He can take these units down, no problem. Stim is
almost done. Now it's done. Stims, but he does not split.
Oh my god, Marine King is suffering severe losses here. The Banelings are connecting so well. Most of the SVs on the low ground are already gone. 12 have been killed in total, and the amount of Marauders that we have is down to 2. It looks like Marine King is out of luck here. What a... well, that was just horrible for Marine King, lifting this barracks, not having the wall up. The Banelings in the mineral line.
Really nice micro from Marine King, but it just won't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter at all. He has lost too much. He's down to 10 Harvesters.
Marine King back with the Hellions, but they have nowhere to run. Tech Lab with combat shields goes down, and as will Marine King, we are going to have to see the final Prime player.
Yeah, we definitely will. Right now he's chasing down the last remain. Oh, what a pickup! That was Maru style.
Yeah.
He's now building the... he's building troll hatches.
It continues.
Yeah, it continues.
GG.
GG by Marine King. He lifted his barracks, he opened his wall, tried to close it with supply depots, they were not even done, and Symbol didn't have to use a single Baneling to take those down. That was really, really unlucky for Marine King. He just did not know about what was going on. He had no scouting information. He was trying to take the third a little bit early, move those barracks out of the way in order to move out with his units so that he could defend against run-by attacks to the third base. And Symbol, he executed a build that Marine King did not expect at all.
It was... I want to say that it was unfortunate for Marine King to have his barracks lifted, but to be honest, I'm not sure if he would have held even if it was down. It would have been a lot easier, but that was basically just someone being like, wow, my lucky day. And I think it's time for Björn. We could see somebody else. It's entirely possible. Maru is the other likely choice. Maru, really good in his Kode match.
Yeah, it's either going to be Björn or the Marine Prince, one of the two of them. But yeah, we are down to the last match, exactly what we kind of predicted when we were talking about the series before it started. It's going to be a 5-4 either for the Prime team or for TSL, and to be honest, at this point in time, it's going to be really hard to predict, but as already mentioned before, Symbol practiced for this matchup in particular.
Yeah. And the map is going to be Abyssal City. So this map is, you know, we talked about earlier, it actually is in the pool.
Yeah.
Picked last. It's kind of like that when you go to the store, you see like there's only one X thing left, one cookie, blah, 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 and you're like, one banana, and you're looking, you're like, is there a reason why this one is the last one? I don't know. I don't know if I want that banana. Nah, not really. Nah, not so much. Why is it still there?
I actually have to buy groceries later.
Oh?
Just remind me.
Well,
On
we
the
can
way
go
back.
together.
Yep.
I'll pick up some stuff as well.
I want to know who the player is. Go.
Yeah,
I want to have a camera shot of the Prime Edge. Now. Right now. I want to know if it's going to be Mauro, if it's going to be Björn, if it's going to be some other kind of...
Oh my, hold on, I'll go ask him.
Don't think that's going to happen. It has to be either one of them. But it's not going to be easy. Symbol is very strong against Terrans. We've seen it. Playing against MVP is always brutal. It's always something that it doesn't matter which race you play, but it's going to be so tough. Here's the bench to the top right. We have Björn, and it is him.
Yeah. Björn, Prime, once temporarily known as Ghost King. And also, when he was a Protoss, used the ID Bleach, was able to knock Artosis out of the Code qualifiers way back when. This guy has been around forever.
I'm so happy that he changed his ID.
He had a puppy as well.
Yeah. Bomber has a puppy.
Yeah, and I didn't get to talk about that dog's hairstyle yet, but let me tell you, if you shave all of the body and you leave only the fur on the head, that looks really weird. Or they're trying to make him look like a person or something, only hair on the head. I don't know. I wanted to tweet a picture, I haven't done it yet. I guess I'll send it to you guys later. I took one earlier.
Alright, so here is last player. Last turn standing within last Zerg standing.
He looks
against Symbol.
He looks a little bit stressed out. Even on the booth, I could see he was grabbing his legs like really tightly, clenched his hands. You know, he's a great player. You know, he's come for his team. He's come out for his team and helped them many a time, but he's also failed many a time.
He should actually call himself L. If he resembles one anime character, it's definitely from Death Note. He's always a little bit awkward. You should see him actually at the Code A qualifier. The way that he sits, you can't really see it with these camera shots, but he is like a little bit like the most awkward person ever. Not really when you talk to him, but just how he... I don't know, how he uses his legs and everything. Yeah. It's really hard to explain, but if you watch Death Note, then he is L.
And I will say, if you have not watched Death Note or read, you can do either. If you prefer to read or you prefer to watch, choose that. You need to do that right now.
Yeah.
I mean, not right now, actually watch this game first, but then immediately after you become bored, you don't know what to do, then buy it, watch it, enjoy it. And if you don't take my word for it, just ask anybody you know. And then also, if that person hasn't watched it, you should tell them.
If that person has not watched Death Note either, you have the wrong fans.
The only difference between Björn and L is that Björn has his name and face public, unless it's a fake name.
Oh wow, look at him. He's feeling the pressure already.
Yeah, he really is.
You know, Abyssal City is a great map for Zerg. What we see on this map quite often is the one problem that Zerg has on this map a couple of times, that it's hard to scout at double 11. So that might be something that Björn is trying to use here, but just in general, you can mutalisks on this map, which is something that most Zergs don't do against Terran that often anymore. On maps like this, it's really strong. We'll find out what Symbol is going to do, what has Björn up his sleeves. This is the last map at the GSTL match between TSL and Prime. Let's go for it.